This is Joe Wayne with the ACP 313. That's right, the Anti-COINTEL Pro Show is back. I know it's been a while. Yeah, it's been a hot minute, but I'm back. You know, I've been kind of shell-shocked for the last couple of months. I have been under attack. My bank account has been frozen. Of course, my YouTube channel was demonetized in August, and my bank account was frozen in September. So I, of course, have been in the survival mode. And when you're in survival mode, you're in kind of a freak out fog. You're even if you're the best planner in the world, the best prepper in the world, because we always hope for the best and plan for the worst, or plan for the worst and hope for the best. But we always planned for the worst. And that's what has gotten me through these last few months was my planning, my savings, and yeah, that whole thing happened in the last few months. So that's why the videos have not been fast and furious as they have been in the past, folks. Again, this is Joe Wayne, your pissed off prognosticator. Yeah, your political pugilist. That's me. Or that's I. But I'm not alone. There's a lot of us that are under attack. Sargon of Akkad, Alex Jones, Gavin McInnes. I mean, just name a conservative commentator or a commentator that leans to the right, because if you have kids, guess what? You're gonna lean to the right or more traditionalist. Now, that being said, the left has kept me in survival mode. They've kept me punch drunk for the last few months. But now, our president, our dear leader, the Trumpster, Donald John Trump, President of the United States, yeah, he's given them the what for the wall, right? And I've had my misgivings in the wall ever getting built. I've had my misgivings about Donald Trump and his ties to Israel. And it's all about Israel, right? As McConnell tells you about illegal immigration, it is real. Is real. That's all you need to say, Mitch. The old gobbler guy. So that being said, again, this is Joe Wayne with the Anti-COINTEL Pro Show, the ACP 313. Hey, the all-new BitTube channel, folks, where you actually get paid to watch in a cryptocurrency. Go check it out. Eventually, if they never monetize me, and they never will, eventually in the next few weeks to the next few months, I've already imported my library to BitTube for the Anti-COINTEL Pro Show. I'm going to be moving all new content over there to BitTube if it turns out that it is a viable option. Of course, there have been a lot of contenders for the YouTube Heavyweight Video Creator Prize, and many have fallen short. I mean, we had VidMe, we had Real.tv, that's Brighteon now, that's really the Alex Jones network. I mean, we've had so many claim they were going to be the replacement of YouTube, and all have fallen short. So here's hoping that BitTube has a better plan to monetize creators' content. And if they do, and if they can get this to be a thing, then all of my content will be on BitTube. So the jury is out on BitTube as of yet. So that being said, what are we talking about today as I finally swerve back over to the center of the lane to what's really going on this morning? We're talking about the Trump tactic, folks. We're talking about the Trump tactic of owning the opposition's issues, right? I mean, all he does is speak, and they go into freak out mode, right? All of the left, every time Donald Trump tweets about anything, their hair is instantly on fire and they're running around with bugs in their eyes, right? They are crazy for Trump. Hell, they're just plain crazy. And when you add the emotional elixir of fear and hate that the left and the mainstream media, all of the usual suspects, have drummed into their willing, emotional, outraged, complicit members of their party, which is about over, so go ahead and turn the lights out left. So as they lather their emotional, outraged victims or their party members up into this emotional outrage of the day, whatever it may be, and every day it's something else, all he has to do is speak, and then he lets them go. He winds them up and lets them go, folks. That's what's going on. So, as per the title of the video, Donald Trump is now using another weapon of the left. He's owning their own weapon, and the weapon that he's owning now, because of the shutdown, ipso facto, is the SNAP program. That's right. The weapon of the left, the weapon of welfare. Because we know everything they say is the complete opposite, just like Orwell. So their warfare, which they call welfare, right, is warfare on the poor. Is warfare of those who might ever have the audacity of actual hope to believe they could do something more. They could be something better than just somebody with their hand out for exactly what the government wants to give them. And when they have that hand out, there are chains locked on that hand, folks. Yes, there are. And they own you. Once you have your hand out for their warfare welfare system, then they own you. Then you're a true enough slave until you actually do something about it. So Donald Trump is now using the warfare of welfare, weaponized welfare of the left to own them and to get them to pay for the wall. Now, how is he doing this? Well, he's just shutting the government down, and he's letting it remain shut down. And isn't that what all of us on the, the leaning right, because I'm not on the right, I'm not on the left, but I am, of course, leaning right because it is traditional values or, center right values that have always, us in the middle folks that have owned the issues, right? It's all about the people in the middle because there's so many of us that are on the extreme right or left. We don't believe in party. We believe in issues. We don't believe in politicians or party members. We believe in people. So I don't care if you're on the left. I mean, hell, they were just talking about Jim Webb as possible defense secretary. Now that's a Democrat I could vote for. Just go check him out in his run-up to the Democratic nomination, which was a fraud in 2016, and you'll know what I'm talking about. So Donald Trump, he's holding out, and he's continuing to keep the government shut down. And here we have an article from CNN, and I don't normally tout the CNN, but folks, what I always tell you, if you want to know what the enemy's afraid of, go to their journals of record. And the journal of record for the outraged emotional left and all of their minions and all of their masters is CNN. That's right. That slow-moving train wreck. As per CNN, millions could lose food assistance if shutdown drags on. Millions of low-income Americans could have a harder time affording food if the partial government shutdown continues into February. Funding for food stamps, school lunches, and nutrition for pregnant women and young children is expected to run out next month if the impasse is not resolved, experts say. Now, I'm not going to go over this whole article. I will tell you that the agency said last month the program is funded through January, but it only has $3 billion, folks, in its reserves to cover February. That's less than 2/3 of food stamp money, which is $4.8 billion every single solitary month at a minimum. So yeah, all we want is 1 month of food stamp payments to begin our wall. Just 1 month, which is $4.8 billion. We want $5 billion to begin the wall. not a fence, not a fence that they can climb, that they showed you they can climb, dear leader, not a fence, a wall. We will not fall for the fence. We will well until we get our wall. You'll think you're back in Israel, Trump, because it will be the Welling Wall. That's the southwest border that the whole world will hear. And we will keep this government shut down until we get our wall. We will well. So that being said, yeah. Who do you think, folks? And I'm not going to go over this whole article. It is a long article. I mean, the left likes to bloviate. They like to hear themselves talk. They like to have their bias confirming articles just go on and on and on and on to confirm the bias that their readers have. And we all have our biases. Let's not be liars, because I'm not a liar. Of course, I'm biased towards philosophy, towards objective truth, not subjective sophistry. I am biased towards facts. Sue me. You can have your emotions. I deal in facts just like Sergeant Friday. So, folks, I'll leave this article for you to digest at your convenience. But let me tell you, and you know this, you can be as emotional as you want to be, as you think you need to be, as you're directed to be by those who direct you. But sooner or later, your emotions are going to come in stark contradiction to your empty belly. Okay? That's what's going on. That's what happened with me, folks. That's why I haven't been producing videos. That's what happened to me. That's what happened to a lot of us out there that have been deplatformed, that have been demonetized, that have been debanked, right? I mean, I can no longer bank in America. That's with one of the big three banks. That's Chase Bank, who illegally froze my bank account. A month after, again, YouTube and Google demonetized me and took away my sole source of income. So that's what they did. And I've been struggling. Thank goodness that I practice what I preach, and I had plenty of savings in real money. And you know what I mean, folks, when I say real money. Not fiat currency, real tangible money that's been money for thousands of years. So your empty belly does not care about emotions. Who do you think all of those 19.4 million households that receive an average of $245 a month in food stamp or SNAP benefits, who do you think those 20 million households are going to be pissed off at? They're not going to be pissed off at Donald Trump. He's just doing what he promised, right? And that's all we wanted. Whenever they have had a little mini shutdown, what have we cried? Keep that mother effer shut down. That's what we have cried. Because unless and until you keep it shut down and you make the people all of these mindless minions that are forced to support the machine because you have your hand out and you're receiving benefits from the government, so you're forced to be the government's lackey, ipso facto, because they own you. They're feeding you. So if that is the case, yeah. Now, who do you think those nearly 20 million people, and that's just households, that's going to be probably because we know the illegal household is numerous families. So go ahead and say 100 million people, okay, are going to be pissed off. Their bellies are going to be empty, just like in Venezuela. They're not going to be mad at Donald Trump because Donald Trump's trying to keep the invaders out that are taking their money and their benefits. They're going to be mad at you, Nancy Pelosi, and Chuck you, Shumer. They're going to be at your houses because you promised them, and you're the ones that said, you know what, we're going to put illegals in front of you, American citizens that are receiving benefits with your handout. We're going to put illegal aliens in front of you and their priorities of invasion, because that's what it is, folks. It's an invasion. with the stamp of approval of every Democrat and every GOP member that wants comprehensive immigration reform, right? Or amnesty. All of you that have stood in the way of national sovereignty and self-preservation of our citizens, not the world's citizens, not Mexico's, not Central and South America, but, America's citizens, the citizens of the republic that are paying the bills. Now, mind you, a lot of you members that are, of the republic that are receiving benefits, you may not get your food stamps. Guess who continues to get paid during this shutdown? You got it. Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer, Steny Hoyer, every single Elijah Cummings, every single disastrous demon rat Democrat is still getting paid. Every repugnant Republican is still getting paid. All of the political parasites are still getting paid. Hell, Pelosi's still in Hawaii, folks. Yeah, they're still vacationing on our dime. The whole time that you don't get your food stamps, the whole time, I just got demonetized and censored off of, the ability to feed my family. How dare you? How dare you, deep state? How dare you, big tech? How dare you, mainstream media and all of the acolytes of evil? You have broken the number one universal law, and you have resorted to controlling our free will and our ability to feed our families, to freely associate, to speak free, move free, and act free here in the Republic. All of you are enemies of the state. You're enemies of we the people, and now the pissed off public with empty bellies are going to be at your front door, Nancy Pelosi. Yeah, you think that, that little bit of group of DACA recipients that were surrounding you and yelling at you, you think they were, number one, they were children. They were spoilt, rotten little children, clamoring for something that we don't owe them, and we didn't promise them. The left lies, and if you believe in the left, you believe in liars, and you will be lied to. And you will be in the position of going hungry if you've had your hand out for too long, with a caveat. If you could actually work, and you've been parasitically sucking off the system with our tax dollars, and you could work, and you weren't legally disabled. If you're legally disabled, we're going to help you. Hell, I have muscular dystrophy, folks, and I still work. I'm legally disabled, and they still froze my bank account. They still demonetized me. This is Google, YouTube, and the system. The system of lies, the liars in the left, the rhinos on the right. Everyone in the establishment are the established deep state. They're the ones that have caused this problem. Yeah, because they have wanted to enrich themselves rather than protect. So that being said, I will go ahead and end this video and say, yeah, thanks. Because what just happened, folks? Thanks, Nancy Pelosi. Thanks, Chuck Schumer. Because number one, you've went against a clear, overwhelming majority of the people that have voted time and time again. Yeah, time and time again, by a margin of between 70 and 80% for enforcement for the wall. They voted for national sovereignty, self-preservation. They didn't vote for you to lie to them while sticking a gun to their head and saying, repeat what we tell you to repeat, or we're going to pull the trigger. The weaponized warfare of welfare trigger. And that's exactly what's going on now. But they're not going to be mad at Donald Trump because Donald Trump is just keeping his promises. They're going to be pissed off at the left that is continually, right along with the Rhino right, all of the deep state members that hold allegiance to Israel and AIPAC. Every one of you, which is all of you, including our dear leader, are going to be held responsible for all of those empty bellies, for all of those indignant, right? They have righteous indignation. They have been lied to. They have been promised to. And you have lied about all your promises. And if you lie about this one, dear leader, yeah, well then you're going to be thrown to the wolves and you're not going to have the protection of the people, which is the only thing that has kept you out of jail thus far. Once we're gone, you and your family are gone as well. And that's not a threat, it's just reality. You turn on the ones that brung you to the dance, and you will be hobbled, and you won't ever be able to dance again because you will have relinquished the protection of those that you have lied to, those you have promised a wall, a barrier. You would have lost the protection of we the people. And once you lose our protection, then you're gone, and so is the rest of your family. Because not only you that will be a target, that is a target of the emotionally outraged left, but also your son, also your daughter. Everyone will be a target. Not from us, the ones you lied to, but the liars, the ones who lie to everybody about everything. And how do we know they're lying? Because their lips are moving. So that being said, this is Joe Wayne with the ACP 313, the Anti-COINTELPRO Show. The new BitTube channel, the new Anti-COINTELPRO Show BitTube channel. The link will be here. Go there because soon all of the uploads, if that actually is a thing, folks, a viable option to escape YouTube, if that's an escape hatch out of YouTube, then I will use that escape hatch and all of my new material will be there at BitTube. So here's fingers crossed, hoping BitTube is a thing and will be a thing. That being said, this is Joe Wayne. Good day and good luck.